Alright, YouTube, I've decided to go and write more of my own works, not just edit things that are, old, antiquated stuff from the 1500s through the 1700s usually. I am interested in that, and of course it gives me an opportunity to read interesting works while I'm also editing them and making a profit off of them. But I haven't written enough of my own material, especially within politics. I took a look at the sort of catalog of works that I had released, and link in the description, of course, to this work and my books blog, as always. And I was like, well, I've only written like 3 pieces of actual political material. All the rest is also spiritual material. And yet, 90% of my audience here, which is the largest fan base I have, they know me for political discourse, not for anything on the occult. That's sort of a much smaller group of people. So I'm going to take March, and I'm going to write several other political manifests as well. This one is called Improving the State. And in it, I make some general suggestions for how the United States in particular, but states in general, can be crafted into something that's more stable. I ruminate upon biology, essentially. The state functions very much like an organ system. The population and the state and society, the cultural ethos, they're all wrapped up together. And because human biology in the strictly biological sense is one way in which evolution acts. Culture, though, evolves the same way. Anything under the realm of anthropology, language evolves, cuisine evolves. Everything evolves in accordance with stimuli. Once you take note of this, you can observe human history and you can observe correspondence between political and social systems and biology itself, the process of evolution. And I don't mean this in the sense of social Darwinism, strictly speaking. You can see which systems are, both in theory and in practice, more stable, more tolerable than others. An organism breaks down if some of its components cease to function properly. How do you keep it functioning properly? I give my suggestions for that. I go off on a little bit of a tangent against communism, but when I was writing that, I also had to hold it back because I'm currently writing another political work, which would be about the same length. This is 44 pages. I'm thinking about putting a little bit more specifically into ranting against communism because it's something I find fun at the same time, not just informative. That work will be separate from this one. I had to hold myself back so that I wouldn't exhaust too much material for that additional work. I'm also planning several other works, work on how to resist corporate propaganda, specifically from the media, and a separate work that is specifically against the corporate media, to sort of go along with the idea of trying to kill them off as quickly as possible, TV and newsprint and so forth. These are things that I want to speak of at length. And by at length, I mean in more than just sitting down in front of a webcam. There's something to be said for that content in a physical or literary form, number one. Number two, it's more effective to deliver the same amount of content that I can write down, put on Amazon. I'd need several hour-long videos, honestly, to fully explain myself. And of course, it'd be in a different form when I'm writing. It's not so much of a ramble. But improving the state is something that I think people will enjoy. It is a fusion system. I've made it clear. Some people still think that I'm some sort of purist libertarian, that I have partisan loyalty to the Libertarian Party, or that I specifically only applaud libertarianism as a political philosophy. The former couldn't be further from the truth. I think that the LP is losing its damn mind. And as to the second, yes, I'm pro-liberty. I believe in the Constitution. I believe in American exceptionalism. I believe in the values of our founders very strongly. I think that theirs was the greatest idea ever born from mankind, and that if slightly tinkered with, which is what I'm suggesting here, it would be more stable, more close to what they wanted. We could maintain order at the same time that we're maximizing liberty. But it also has an essence of nationalism in it. And, of course, that necessitated an entire passage differentiating nationalism from fascism because so many people conflate the two. They think the concept of national sovereignty. This is the LP's problem as well that I've had with them for several years. They think the idea of national sovereignty, of having an actual border, of having a culture that is safeguarded, is a form of fascism. That couldn't be further from the truth. It makes no sense. It's to argue that is to argue that all of mankind up until the very recent modern postmodernist period has been under total fascism. All the way through, there's never been any liberty. They've all been a bunch of Nazis, goose stepping around or something like that. So I think you'll enjoy this work. If you enjoy my political content here on YouTube, you'll probably enjoy my political writings. It's in a slightly, for those of you who haven't read any of my works, the way that I write and the way that I speak are not exactly the same. I make a lot more off-the-cuff remarks when I'm speaking. I'm very much formal in my writing style. That even takes place in my fiction work. Sickness and Hell is technically written in a formal style with a lot of alliteration. Only the formality there is ruminating on gastrointestinal bleeding and things of that nature. So if you're interested in the politics, link in the description. Second link to my books blog. Occult Memetics, of course, still available. That seems to be the most popular work that I've actually released, including all of the edited works, famous grimoires from hundreds of years ago. Can't even compete with a modern, fairly short work that I wrote on occult memetics back when I wasn't even particularly well known. It's astonishing to me, so I'm going to make more political content, at least 4 manuscripts of this rough length for March is what I'm planning for. There will be 3 more in addition to this one. And so yeah, there'll be more to come after that. I'm not going to stop writing these sort of limited topic manuscripts. It's just I wanted to load a few more onto there. I wanted to put more of my political beliefs out there in writing in a more tangible form than just, it's floating around on the internet. No, I want people to be able to hold it in their hands. That's something I love the way it makes me feel, honestly. To think that there's somebody out there in the middle of New Zealand or Yemen or something. They've got a copy of a book with my name on it. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I couldn't have foreseen that anybody would ever be interested in that sort of stuff. 10 years ago, it wasn't even on my mind. So I'm going to keep writing, and I'm going to keep editing as well. I'm not like shelving editing projects. I got like 5 half-finished works as we speak, a couple of verbals, some other material too. But I'm going to take a break from that for a while, for about a month, write a few more of my own works, because for some reason they actually seem to be more popular than the edited works in many measures. So it's in my best interest. People want to hear me talk about politics. Now they can do it in book form as well, not just in video form. That's about all. Peace out.